Okay, so let's start with lecture 3. The first thing we are going to do is open this browser to see what its current state is. As you can see, we have drawn nothing. So let's first start with linking the style sheet href course index.html. Then the next thing you are going to do is let's create a navigation bar nav. Okay, by default nav already has the CSS property width at 100 VW. VW as we discussed in lecture number 2. So all we have to do is give it a height, let's say 30 px, and background, let's say gray. Okay. So when I refresh it, you will see there is visible navigation bar tag. Okay. There is some margin over all the body. So let's remove the margin because we don't want this traditional margin here. We want this whole view to be the part of the website. Okay, so since body is the parent tag, so I'm gonna put it in the top and write margin 0. And now you can see the whole navigation bar is here. Okay, so since we are making a landing page, we know that this whole white space will be the landing page. So let's create layout for it. So let's say style, not a style, class is equal to landing page. Okay, so landing page main, let's say landing page, and main is the name of the class. Let's give it the width of 100 VW and height of 100 VH. Since we have not set the navigation as a fixed property, it is considering this as the whole navigation view. Landing's whole width and height will be equal to the whole view. So since there is navigation menu, so it takes that part of the navigation menu's height in the bottom. Okay, so this is how this will look like. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is remove this horizontal scroll because we don't want that, and that looks very cheap. Cheap in the sense that we, there is on top, you have seen that there is vertical scroll and there is not much use of the horizontal scroll. So let's hide it. So since we hide it, now there will be only up and down scroll. Okay, and with that, let's add a navigation bar in the shape of a vertical menu instead of this horizontal menu. So let's first convert it in such way. Let's say since it will be vertical, we want it to be equal to the whole view height and then width of 35 VW. And now you can see this looks proper. And since this is not a navigation right now, as you can see when I write black, and since navigation is a block element, it won't let navigation landing page to be before this navigation bar. It will come down towards the bottom instead of in the back side of the navigation. So we have to make navigation float like in the sky so that all the things in the back side are in layer format as shown in Photoshop. So position fixed rather than absolute. Okay, okay, so we want it to be top 0 and right 0. So first let's study about the fix. What is this position and fix? So I'm gonna use paint, and in paint, let me see the time. Okay, so let's create indexes to make to understand what it is. Okay, okay, so let's say this is z-axis. The font is very big, so let's keep it at this way. Okay, then there is y-axis, then there is x-axis. So let's say at 0 comma 0 comma 0, this is 0 comma 0 comma 0th position at the origin, and okay, here. So the first thing we are going to do is, so let's say the first side of the landing page is 0 comma at 0 0 z index, that is in the 3D format. As you know, this page will be the first layer. Okay, so in Photoshop you have seen there is this right bar, there are number of layers. So let's say first one, first layer is here at the top. Then let's make it look like this is a layer. Okay, so I'm gonna do it again. So it actually looks like there is some kind of layer here. Okay, so this is the first layer. The second layer would be something like here, and let's say this is layer number 2. So it will be here at this second position, number 2. Okay, like this. So if we look at this, what we see is that layer number 2 should be something that is closer to your eyes than the layer number 1, something like this. When you look at in the index of Z, it's obvious that number 2 is much closer to your eyes than the layer number 1. So what we have to do is put everything at the first layer and put navigation bar at the second layer. So whenever it pops up after opening it, let's say it is hidden somewhere, when you click at some icon, it comes in front of your screen, and then you can use it for navigating to some place. So it should be at the top of the normal layer, that is layer number 1. So let's put the navigation bar at front. So to do so that, we used fixed position and put its Z index as 2 for now. Okay, and so top, and let's say when you want to fix it and put it in the Z axis, you can also change its origin for X and Y axis. So what I did was put it at the right side. When I say right 0, as you can see here, uh, sorry, let's just use inspector. You can see here I use top 0, that means that I want this area to be the 0th origin instead of this 0th origin of the y-axis. And when I say right 0, that means I want to tell it that the 0th position of this, let's say the navigation bar, is towards the right side, instead of the left side. Since normally in programming world and GUI world of the digital computers, is 0 comma 0th index is usually at the left and top corner. Instead I modified it and changed its origin to right top instead of left top. Okay, Z index told this system that it's the second layer and it should be above the layer number 1, that is the background landing page. Okay, so this is how it came here. Now let's hide it. I'm gonna do it here so that you can easily see. Since the origin is modified to top right, only margin top and margin right will work. If it was not right at left side, then the margin left and margin top will work here. Let me give you a demonstration. Since it's at the left side, the margin right won't work. Let's say 500 px. As you can see, there is no effect. But when you say right 0, now margin right will work. So that's how this magic works, is that wherever your origin side is, only there the margin properties side will work. Okay, I hope this is very much clear. Okay, so continuing from there, I don't want it obviously like this. I want it to be hidden. Since this width of this navigation bar is 35 VW, I'm gonna height it 35 VW towards the right. So let me give you a demonstration by putting smooth animation effect, that is transition. Now when I uncheck this margin, that means I'm not applying minus 35 VW property here. As you can see, the point is when I type margin right, I mean to say is that I want to hide this menu outside this screen. So it will look something like this. Okay, so let's say this is the screen monitor. Well, I'm good at art, so I'm gonna do my best that you actually understand what I'm trying to do here. So this is a monitor, this is some button. So this is how this looks, and this looks not bad. So this is your monitor. Okay, here. Now the first thing is that this whole black area is your landing page. You put some navigation bar and hide it like this. Let's say I want it to be some solid color, same gray as we have put in the HTML file. So when I say left, it simply just goes towards this area. So what it does is simply put it outside the normal human's view. It's here, nowhere else. It's not actually hidden. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, so this is how it goes here. So let's just say I just moved it outside the scope of user screen. Let me write it like this so that it's not hidden away, and give it a little small font. Okay, 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 good. So this is how it works. I'll share this file with you guys. Uh, okay, so this is how it works. Okay, fine. So now it's hidden and it's on the front of the layer and not in the back layer. So there's definitely nothing to worry about whether when it comes out it will go in the back of the layers and the landing page will be in the front and you won't see navigation bar. So that issue has been resolved. So this is how it comes here. So now the second thing we are going to do is put some layout for the icon position here. So let's put it. So it should be something like this: div class nav hamburger. Hamburger is actually those three bars that we discussed in the class, where when we click it, it converts into this X shape. Like now you want to close it, and when it is in the form of hamburger, it means you want to open it. So name hamburger. Okay, so that's how I name it. Okay, let's put it near to the name hamburger. I put it here instead of the button in CSS class because I want navigation items to be with each other, so I know where the grouping is actually being made. So we know that there will be fixed position because we also wanted to follow the screen and should be at the front layer. Fix means actually you want to follow it. Like when you say fix, follow, and when I say absolute, I mean just change origin. Okay, we will also write here comma change origin and z index. Okay, but when we talk about relative position, this is a third type of position that is relative. You simply use z index for it. Okay, so position fix top 0 right 0, we also want it to be at the top right, so it should be somewhere here because its height and width will be small. So let's set it to 50 px and width also 50 px and margin vw. Simply margin vw means give it a margin of 1 1th unit of the total view width, so it will be something like here, this area. So background white, so we can see it visibly easily. Okay, so as you can see, you can't see it because I forgot to put this navigation -30 VW to be hidden. Okay, so after doing everything I here, let's see, I think it's the Z index, so Z index 2. Okay, if it doesn't show up, that means we have done some kind of mistake. So okay, I forgot to save this file actually. There was no need to Z index it. Okay. Since this navigation item is at 2, I will also write this as 3, because now I want the icon to be even more further closer to the user's screen, because whenever we want to close this navigation, if the button is hidden, it will be completely uh, impossible to close it, since it will be in the backside of the let's say like this, so it looks realistic. Well, I am good at art. I'm praising myself, I know that's not a good thing, but anyway, so this is layer 3, and let's put it like 3. Okay, this let's I'm not doing filling tool, just simply rewriting here. Okay, so now it will be in the print. So even let's do the demonstration with, does it really keep it at the front transition so that you can see it smoothly. We haven't done the transition CSS class, we will do it later, but I'm using it just to give you the idea. You can see here that name icon is in the front, not overlapping that one. Okay, so if I write 2, okay, let's see what happens. It's still at the front, but this means that if there is some kind of text with absolute, it can overlap this icon. So for the safe side, I put it at the z index 3. Okay, so let's demonstration. If I put 0, what will happen? So at 0 it does nothing, but as you say, as soon as you send it to the negative value, that means that now in this value there is something that is in the negative z index value, that will be something like this at minus z value. Okay, so I hope that is very much clear. It will be something like this. Let's say it's here, and let me give it a line so it's clear. You can say it's at -1. I hope that is very much clear. Okay, so if we check in the stack trace, it will be something like this. Let's say, no, I'm not wasting time like this. Let's put it like this and say -1. There will be 0 value first, I know, but I'm putting -1 directly here, so it will be something like that. Okay, continuing. Okay, so since this is set and everything is ready, let's put the position for the logo. We will do the same thing like hamburger, but instead of putting it right, we will put it in left. So let's say logo, and oh no need. Okay, so logo width, let's say 300 pixel, height 50 pixels, and background is white. Let's keep it absolute, because if there are anything overlapping, we will make sure the logo is in the front. So z index is 3. Okay, yes, 3. because it will not follow, because it's not fixed, so it won't follow the screen even if you scroll down, but it will make sure it is in the third layered position. Okay, so margin 5, let's say 1 VW by default. Okay, again I have not saved the index file. This is really getting in my nerves, but it's also getting in your nerves too. Let's see why it's okay. I used small letter, so let's use capital since it's case sensitive. Of course, in Java class you also know that the class name should be sensitive. Okay, case sensitive. Okay, so this was the lecture 3. I hope you understand. That's how you put it. But one thing I forgot to mention, let's do that. If you want the navigation not at the right side, what will you do? So let's do it to see how will we do it. So margin right. No, I don't want margin right removing. I want it to come from bottom to top, something like this, minus 100 VH, or let's say 100 VH. Okay, so when I open it, it will come like this, then it will close. And if I want it to be come from instead, as you can see here, since one thing, let's do that. I forgot is that okay, so I told you that if you are setting the margin at top right, margin bottom and margin left will not work, because since you have put this origin at the top right and top and right, it means that you are also enabling only the margin for top and right, nothing else. So what I did was, since only margin top will work, if I am saying something like minus 100 VH like this, so this means I'm opening the menu from top to come at bottom. Okay. But when I want from bottom to top, since margin bottom is not working, so I will reverse the normal behavior of the way we hide the menu first. Instead, I will say margin top 100 VH instead of negative value. Why? Because when it says margin top 100 VH, it simply means that give the 100 VH gap from the top to the bottom. So it will work like this. So you can do it something like this. Same is the case when we did margin right. Since I said that it should be minus 35 VW in the normal case, it was something like this. But if I want menu to come from left to right, so what I can do is simply write 100 VW. Okay, so now this you can see why 100 VW instead of 35 VW. If I write 35 VW, it will only give the gap of 35 VW, but we want the whole screen's gap so that it is hidden somewhere else. And why it's not shifting anything else? Because we use position, and position simply changes its origin from the normal behavior of top left to top right, and it's in a floating layer, and it's not in the layer number 1 anymore. Since it's not in layer number 1 anymore, it will do it like this. If I simply hide position, category and z index, now you can see it's simply shifting everything down so that it can easily come here. Okay, it does not give any effect like margin right here. So if I write margin left, it will just simply shift it right, but everything will be down. So it's the power of actually this. I hope this is very much clear. So this was lecture 3, and you can continue from lecture 4, which is already uploaded on YouTube, and I have again uploaded this video because the sound was not clear. So thank you. Allah Hafiz.